Hello, I'm John Shepherd, and in this slightly different video from normal, I'm going to be talking to you about some of the things that I've learned over the past year and previously as a coach, and some of the things that I'm going to be implementing in 2020. So there's lots of ways that you can develop as a coach, and it's important not to sit still, but to always learn and move on and think about what you're going to do that can really help cement your learning. I think one of the biggest things that I've learned across the last year or so is that you never know as much as you think you know. There's always a new idea, a new way, a coach with a new philosophy or different view on things that you've got to think about and interpret. Or when you come across it, going back to what I've been talking about before, you have to evaluate what they're saying and really think about whether or not that's going to be beneficial. So I've talked about the arm action for the long jump takeoff in particular, and also the need to increase speed across the training year, and also to do more regular testing. So that's all got to be evaluated as part of your coaching journey. In doing so, you'll start to learn more yourself, and you'll be able to understand more and more about the events that you actually coach. The problem is, when you do hear new ideas, new philosophies, you've got to be able to interpret those. You have to understand what's being said. If you don't, you're in danger of copying something for the sake of copying it. I also coach the hurdles and the high jump. I'm not going to have the same amount of knowledge to question as I would do with somebody saying, when you take off in the long jump, you need to elevate the arms in order to create more vertical impulse. So you need to fully understand, or as best as you can, the event that you coach in order to put into practice new ideas and new philosophies. And another thing is, don't be afraid to ask other coaches. That's how I've improved my knowledge, in particular with the high jump, and to a slightly lesser degree with the triple jump. Being able to discuss and bounce ideas off of other coaches is great, in that they can tell you what it could take years and years for you to understand and develop in your own coaching methodology. Another thing that I've begun to understand more and more is how the athletes develop across the training cycle, and also how they approach competitions, what they need to do to get ready to approach competitions. And this is not only physical, but also the psychological side of it. What you as a coach need to say to an athlete in order to help them improve. It's not just about giving them a training program with all the bricks that will hopefully go together to produce great performance. The glue, if you like, or the mortar, is the psychology of coaching. And it's something that coaches can shy away from, but I think we all know that it's crucial how we relate to the athletes that we coach, and what we say to them, and how we can motivate them to perform better. And that's something that I've been working on, but it's also something that's a little bit neglected, and I think there's a big area in coaching, a big void I should say, that needs to be filled by knowing more and more about the psychology of coaching, about yourself as a coach and how you relate to others. I recently went on a course through England Athletics and UK coaching, which was all about you as a coach. So we'd look at things that we considered important to ourselves and how we evaluated others' behaviour in the light of how we evaluated ourselves, which is quite an eye-opener. Because as a coach, you've got a lot of preconceived ideas and values that developed over a number of years. And it's quite easy for you to impart those onto those you coach. So, for example, if you're always punctual, you may expect that in the athletes that you coach. So that was quite an eye-opener, as was how you develop in terms of your career strategy as a coach. Where do you see yourself coaching in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years? And what steps you're going to put into place in order to develop your coaching journey. One of the other things that came across when we were doing seminar work is how coaches often undervalue themselves, particularly in the UK, where we're a bit more step back rather than step forwards. We are, and I hesitate even now to say it, we are really crucial in an athlete's development, and we need to value that and value ourselves accordingly. And within that framework, we need to look after ourselves and develop ourselves as coaches so that we can be the best coaches that we can be. Some people have actually asked me, why did I start making videos on YouTube? Well, the answer, honestly, is that it helped me develop as a coach. We all have our smartphones, we go to training sessions and we film sessions. we film our athletes in action, but honestly, how many times do we actually go back over that footage and really look at the nuances of their technique and see how they're improving or what needs to be worked on? It's very throwaway. Many coaches just delete the videos on their phones, for example. So I started to make videos in order to really look more into detail about what the athletes that I coach are doing, and in doing so help my own coaching journey and my own coaching knowledge. I started to spot things that I never saw in a training session, for example the long jump arm action, or started to question why a single arm swing in the triple jump step phase lowered the centre of mass of the athlete. As I sum up this slightly different type of video, I think the key message is that you never should stand still as a coach. There's always ways to improve yourself, always new elements to learn, new knowledge, new technical ideas, and you must always take those on board but throw away some of the ones that you don't think work. It's up to you to get yourself into a position where you can fully understand, or as best as you can, the events you coach, and then be in a much better position to be able to go with a particular idea or not. So there's lots of ways that you can develop as a coach and think about what you're going to do that can really help cement your learning. Good luck with your coaching, and do subscribe to the channel and leave any comments you may have in the section below or through my other social media.